Recording test with turtle beaches, grass sounds, and seeing what everything sounds like and looks like. Getting 30 frames. Pretty stable considering I don't have Optifine and I have Skype open. And that's about it. Hello everyone, this is Silver Contrails and I am doing a world tour of my Frontier world. I started this world back when 1.8 had just come out, and I left the world that I had been using for almost about a year at that point. Coming to a new world was interesting, and it certainly didn't look like this when I started. All this ice that you're seeing wasn't here, and this was because of the biome shifts that occurred through 1.9 and 1.0. And all this ice sort of just appeared here. This is about where I spawned. And you can see from the map where I am, a little bit of where I've explored. I recently beat the end, and, well, I guess it's about time to show off what I've done so far. So, my mainland over here is where I decided to build. There's a couple mountains and some other things, and I basically followed this river and found this little island over here. And I decided to build on the island. Figured it was a good way to get away from hostile mobs and natural defense and all that. Yeah, I just basically expanded the waterways a little bit so that mobs could never get up here. They certainly can, but they usually don't spawn close enough these days. So yeah, this is my humble home. My original idea for this world was to build a bunch of towers and have them each serve a specific purpose. Like one tower would be an enchanting tower, one tower would be for mobs, one would be for food, and so on and so on. That ended up not happening. Instead, I just sort of centralized everything. Yeah, one of the first things I did was I built this sandstone column and then wrap around with bricks, half brick slabs, which I was able to, using the top ones with 1.2.3 here. And this actually was not my first area where I built. The first thing I did was I dug down here and I sort of hid down here for the first couple of days. And you can see my frontier was created on the 16th of September in beta 1.8.1. And you can see subsequent updates. And here's 1.2. Each with a little title underneath defining what I'm doing. I just recently got some vines in here and some other things, and resource chest. I've got a good lot of iron, some diamond. I lost a lot of diamond when I went to the end. I actually just went there and died almost right away. Unfortunately, the Ender Dragon just pushed me off. This is the first place I mined. There's 2 cave spider spawners down here, but I didn't really go after them too much. They're encased right now. I was going to make a system, but I've come to realize that I don't really care enough. Spooky sounds. And otherwise, yeah, this is my tower, supplies. More chests will probably be up here as time goes on. I've got some of the walls up here. I don't have green, but I have green wool. It's just not around. And here's my enchanting table, along with a little makeshift potion area. It's not really that impressive. And up top of my world. So back that way is towards the spawn. This is forward. There's a small base out there. You can see there's a desert too. And I built out there, and that's where I get my sand and my sandstone and my glass from. This is my mob system. We'll go over that a bit more in detail. And over here, behind this enormous tree, is my farm, or my wool farm. And you can see I've got my melons and my wheat. And at the far end, there's some stuff down there, and we'll go see that pretty soon. And it's turning night. Uh, the mountain biome I haven't developed at all. There's jungle actually behind that because I never rendered over there, so I was able to get jungle pretty quickly. I haven't seen any ocelots yet though. I don't know if they'll spawn. We'll take a quick nap and then we'll head over to the farm, I guess. And some pigs. I don't know why those pigs are still there. Actually, lightning came down and struck one the other day. Turned it into a zombie pigman. You can see my my mob system. Nether portal is that way, the desert's that way, and then this way is the farm. Melons, of course, the best food source in the game in terms of being easy to use. And pumpkins, which actually took me a long time to get. And I've got some wheat, which I don't really bother with that much. Snow golem, infinite snow. Forest. This is going to be loud, so I'll turn my volume all the way down. So I've got cows, got pigs, chickens, empty. And then in here is every single wool color, which is pretty cool. And they're in order too. So you can see I've got the yellow, lime green, pink, gray, etc., etc. So getting wool has always been a pain, because once you shear them, sometimes the wool will go like over there and you can't pick it up. And you have to open the gate, and sometimes they escape. Usually what I'll do is I'll jump up here and get over and collect it, and I'll jump back. And the sheep don't seem to be able to get up that ladder. Now that worked for these 2 floors because they're 3 high. 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, they're 4 high, where I dug out. These were actually too short, so I had to come up with a different system. So after I shear them, I flip the switch, and it brings water down. And the water will push the wool into this corner. It's pretty easy. And I did the same for down here as well. Yeah, the water systems is just controlled on a piston. It's pretty simple. So now that we've seen this, let's head to over here. This is just the little arpeggio that, or peninsula that sticks out. There is a small little groove over here, and I don't know why I made this, but it's kind of neat. Little fountain. I guess it needs a couple blocks in the center now that I think about it. And you can see another view of my mob system. You'll see a better view of it once we get up here. This was a really recent addition. I think I did this, I don't know, about a week ago maybe? Probably less. And I only finished it about 2 days ago. So this is a Vex style victory monument with all of the wool colors, as well as an iron block, a gold block, a diamond block, and the dragon egg. And one more slot for something that maybe Jeb will add. I don't know. Something collectible that seems like a trophy. So yeah, the dragon egg. Pretty nice. And then, as you can see, my mob system, there's another frame for another tower, and I'll go over that more as I get closer. I think I posted this in my last LP, episode 7, which was Distracted or something like that, because I got so distracted by it. In fact, I'm not even going to walk all the way back. I'm going to go across the ice. I talked about mob systems a little bit. And what do I want to say about this? My LP. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. I might have to do something about that because the texture pack isn't getting updated and lots of stuff. So here's my mob system as mobs continuously drop down and they land here. We grab a stone sword and then we just go to town on this. It's not the most efficient system. Certainly is annoying that it requires me to use a sword, especially since creepers apparently aren't affected by splash potions of healing. But I have gotten to level 50 on this, so it does work pretty well. And you get lots of arrows, you get lots of sulfur, lots of bones. Zombie meat isn't any good, but you do get iron helmets, enchanted bows, and that's always nice to have. There's my nether portal. It's just a regular nether world. You've got a stronghold in there. Not really much else to talk about. We can go to the top of this world now that I think about it. This actually went up to the old block limit, or the old height limit, I should say. And there's a spider in here. Interesting. There shouldn't be any spiders in here. But I may do an on and off switch now that I can actually build up, because before I couldn't do that until I updated into Anvil, which I guess is nice. Each of these towers is, I want to say they're 12 by 12, but I'm not 100% on that. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no, they're 10 by 10. And each one has, I think, 8 6 by 6 spawning floors. And they all move into 4 canals, which combine at the bottom. This one is incomplete. I have only the frame of it. I don't know if I'm going to actually make it. And of course, there's a possibility to put another spawning pad there, and basically in the center. And then I'll have actually, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 towers. That will be the 5th one, and then I could add another 4, bringing it up to 9 total towers, and 9 sets of 8 spawning pads, and that's almost the maximum amount. With the new spawning mechanics, it does make it a bit difficult to organize this correctly, because mobs won't move. Or actually, I guess it's not a spawning mechanic, but it's a movement of the mobs, where they won't move if you're more than like 30 to 40 spaces away or something like that. They'll freeze in place, and then they just sit in your system and they don't do anything. I want to say that it affects me in a big way, but it really doesn't, because usually the mobs will run off the spawning pads pretty quickly. I have noticed that my system will slow down to almost nothing if I get even at all a little bit away from it, which is really weird. Okay, drop down here. As you can see, there is well, you might not actually be able to see because it's really dark down here. There's a glass tunnel. This glass actually continues down, and there's a piston that controls this, and I can send these mobs down. And so they're actually going below the sea. And there's a water break here that I can engage if I want to, but I don't have to. And then this continues to go down. You can see the mobs falling. And they are simply going all the way down here and falling to their death. And you can see all the supplies just drop and all that fun stuff. And this is a quick way to kill them if I don't feel like trying to kill them with a sword. And if I just want drops and I don't want experience. Ow, God. But they do sometimes shoot you when they walk through there. And then I can engage this water break. And what this does is it keeps them alive just enough so that they are one punch away when they hit. But it's pretty inconsistent. A lot of times they'll still fall in. Yeah, these guys are 2 punches. That was 3 punches. 2 punches. And then there's more of them just dropping and dying. But yeah, that's a lot of that. That's, I guess, the bulk of my world. There isn't really much else to talk about because, I don't know. Yeah, I play on servers not enough to... Actually, I should say I just don't play this game enough to really have a overly developed world. And really, I already hit upon the important parts. Now, as for my LP, and maybe I should have addressed this at the beginning of my video, my Adventure Time one. The texture pack has not been updated for 1 point whatever, 1.2. So I really don't want to start back up on that until 1.2. Well, until it gets updated for 1.2. And I'm not very good at drawing or art or anything like that, so I don't want to try to do it myself. When that does happen, I will consider going back to it, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I might start an LP series on the server world that I'm playing on. Might. And it might be like a Mineinc joint effort. And we'll see about that. But yes, this is my Frontier world. And I hope you enjoyed my short-ish world tour. I have no idea how long this video is, so I'm going to try to wrap it up right now. Yeah, so until next time then.